Welcome to the Honeymoon Mindset podcast, discussing topics to give you tips and tools so you can choose to live your relationship with a honeymoon mindset. Here are your honeymoon mindset experts, James and Beth. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Honeymoon Mindset. I am James. A lot of newlyweds don't realize how stressful a relationship can be. One of the biggest stresses is finances. And it's one thing that can stress out a marriage or a relationship for many, many years. Or come and go, too. Finances get tight, medical emergency, car accidents, stock market crashes, or loss of a job, or you get a huge bonus, inheritance. How does that all affect it? That becomes a stress, financial stress. And it's also another reason why divorces sometimes are so high, is one of the main reasons. Same with blended families. So how are you going to handle finances? First off, you hear me say it, you guys got to talk. Communication is the biggest thing, one of the biggest things in a relationship is communication. A lot of times our thoughts and feeling of money comes from our past. Comes from how we were raised, our culture. Even in the United States, there's a lot of different cultures, heritages that have a different view of money. Some of it also comes down to religious views. You as an individual, especially early on in your marriage and your relationship, you need to talk about money. You just have to. You have to get on the same page. My first wife and I, we didn't get on the same page. We were different. She was a little more controlling. I was a little more free-flowing. And that caused issue in our relationship. Beth is a little more free-flowing, but yet conservative. I'm probably a lot more conservative than Beth. But we don't let money get in our way either. Our relationship is very important to us, Beth and I. We talk about money. It's something Beth has to work on. Because the way she was raised, it's my problem. I'll figure it out. I'm sort of in charge of finances. I can't. And I tell Beth, no, I need to know. I want to know what's going on with the finances. No, you have a better clue and you're better at it because she's done a lot of accounting. It's in her background, her occupational background. Her training is more financial. So yeah, she handles them better. She has a better grasp of finances than I do. And I'm okay with that. But that doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean I check out. You got it? Okay, fine. No. I'm in this marriage. I'm in this relationship. And if I want to have a honeymoon mindset, I have to care about the finances too. End of discussion. End of discussion. I need to care about our finances as well. I know I'm not that good with finances. I know Beth is better with them than I am. I want her to handle it because of her experience and knowledge of it. And I'm fine with that. But that doesn't mean I don't check out. It means that I care. It means I care by asking, how's it going? What do we need to do? What do we need to change? What do I see that's going on that we can change? And I make suggestions and I make changes. She makes suggestions of changes. And we try to change together. We try to find a compromise in how to make it work. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail, and fail big time. But we learn from it, and we go on. Sometimes we have to fail a couple times in order to learn our lesson. Just the human nature. But we talk about it. If you're early on in your relationship, young, just starting out, you need to talk about your finances. How do you talk about finances so it doesn't become a stress? At all. Finances do not need to be a stress. You can talk to Dave Ramsey, Susan Usman, I think, are two huge financial gurus. There's a bunch out of them. Those are two that pop in my mind. Dave Ramsey has Financial Peace University, where you can go through a course on how to plan for your future, how to handle money and finances. Every financial advisor has a different view on credit cards, debt, loans, paying for things, and that's fine. That's where you and your partner need to talk about finances. The very first thing is, step one, I guess, is you need to figure out who's the spender, who's the saver. And if you're both the same, it happens. It happens. If you're both spenders, you need to figure out a control right away. Otherwise, you're going to get into a lot of trouble quick. If you're both conservative, you can get in a lot of trouble too. If you're both, you guys can come to head, or one's a spender, one's a saver. You can come into problems there too. Because you guys haven't talked about finances. You haven't talked about your future. And when you talk about your future, then you can figure out, okay, you like to spend money. Okay, you can spend up to this much, but be controlling. Don't bring a lot of stuff in. If you do, you got to get rid of stuff. Come and go. Because I can't handle that, or that's wasting money, or looking at each other's past on money. Why are you so conservative? Well, we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have this. So I want to have money, so if I want something, I can go out and buy it. I don't need to worry about it. Or if we did, we always bought the cheap generic stuff, or something that doesn't last real long, or secondhand, that's already broken or used, so it didn't last long anyways. There's reasons why they do. You're not trying to pick on each other. You're trying to learn from them. Learn who they are. Learn their background. And how can you use that background to help you grow with your respect to money? Help yourself grow with money as far as the future, how to handle it, so you're not scared of money. There's no need to be scared of money. Money is a tool that is used to buy things, to purchase things, whether it be your monthly mortgage or rent, food. It's just a tool. That's all it is. It's a tool. It doesn't define you. It doesn't make who you are. It's not your identity. It's a tool. That's all that money is. It's a tool. And if there's something you want that needs more of it, well, you need to get a bigger tool. So you need more money. How do you handle that? The other thing, with more money comes more responsibility. And the other thing with more money is you get the chance to help more people out. How do you want to help more people? Well, you got to have more money to help more people. Well, how do you want to help people? Oh, I want to feed more hungry people. That's one thing Tony Robbins does. Let's talk about Tony Robbins. He has a mission to feed 1 billion people. That's his mission. He doesn't want it because of his lifestyle. He's gone days without meals or very little food because of the way he was growing up, because he was raised. He doesn't blame his mom or dad or dads. Sometimes they did the best they could with what they had, but they also lived in a cycle, and he broke the habit. He broke the pattern. So that's what his desire is. So he's like, well, in order for me to help feed people, well, I got to have money to buy food. Okay, so we got that one done. Well, if I want to help more people, or more people come to help food, well, I got to make more money so I can help more people. It's a revolving circle. So you got to start planning now. And that's the other thing. You got to plan. Well, first you got to figure out who's a spender, who's a saver. If you're a spender, what do you want to really spend your money on? And if you're a saver, what are you saving your money for and why? You two can coexist beautifully. You really can. You could be a saver and let your partner do the spending, but we're going to talk about it together, purchases. So that's a good investment on the money. That's the conservative side. But it comes down to you to make the final decision because you're the spender. Okay, you want to buy me? Okay, fine. I'll go find this. Okay, there's the list. I'll go buy it. That's how a buyer and a saver can work together. Or, hey, I think we need to buy a new car. Why do we need to? Well, you're pregnant for one thing. Our little car breaks down constantly. What should we look at getting? Well, the saver's going to say, well, I want something that's bang for the buck. Yeah, we are pregnant, so I want something safe that's going to last a while, because who knows what kind of expenses are we going to have when we have a kid. Plus, our expenses are going to go up, so we need to have something that's going to be economically sound. So that's where the conservative one is going to go out, price shop, look, find things, tell the shopper, okay, here's what we're looking for. The shopper's going to be like, all right, here's what I'm finding. Here's what's meeting this criteria. No, it's not as safe, however, but it's a little bit more economical. That's where you and your partner will sit down and weigh the pros and cons of what you're looking at. What is the most important thing to purchase in that vehicle? And then you're going to base buying a vehicle off of that. That is how a buyer and a saver work together. Now, for your everyday expenses, monthly expenses, you need to track what you do every day, where your money is going, what you're spending. We did an episode of your future. How does your future play into your honeymoon mindset? It's very key, key role that it plays in the honeymoon mindset. Same with finances. Talk about them. Talk about spending limits. If you don't have a joint checking account, who's paying for what? Who's covering what? There's a lot of people out there that go between, especially when you're in a committed relationship or a marriage, you need to have a joint account. Some people don't feel that way. It's not right or wrong. A lot of good things is, well, I can't go out and just spend money frivolously or however I want to buy because I'm a spender. They always critique what I want. How are you going to handle that? Well, I'm always paying for this. If you have a split accounts, separate accounts, I pay for all this, they pay for all that. It just becomes his and hers. Beth and I, we have a joint account. I have nothing to hide from Beth. I don't care what she sees, what I buy or purchase, and vice versa. One of my kids, they have separate accounts. That's fine. That's her choice. She pays for these expenses on their house. He pays for these expenses. He likes it because he can go out, whatever he has left, he can go out and buy whatever, do whatever he wants with his money or save. They're both savers, so they also like to save a lot of money too. So, and if they have a trip or whatever, they figure it out. They figure out expenses and they both try to pay equally as much as possible. That's one way of working finances. And they're happy. They're content with it. It works for them. He talks to her about things, but it's also his decision. Just like she likes to do things, he's like, okay, you have the money, go do it. They're accountable to each other, but yet they can do what they want. And that's fine. I can see their relationship changing where they do get a joint checking account. I can see it changing to where they become more accountable to each other on what they're spending, because you can see it, you can feel it. Get yourselves on a budget, but they still have everything budgeted. They still have what's coming in, what's going out, what needs to get covered each month. They got their base things. They got money set aside for emergencies. They got money set aside for unexpected expenses, future plans. That is what a budget's for. Oh, we've never had a budget ever in our life, in our marriage, if you're in a long-term relationship or marriage. It's not too late to start a budget. Oh, we have all this debt. It's not too late to start. You both need to have, why do you want to start a budget? What's the benefit of having a budget? Well, we can get rid of our credit card debt. We can get rid of the school debt. Okay. Why? I'm tired of paying for it. I'm tired of the interest. I'm tired of paying Peter to pay Paul all the time. I want more security. I want a future. I want to get ready to retire. There you go. That's your why. So now what are we going to do? Well, you need to track everything. A lot of financial advisors say you need to track your expenses for a month. Everything you buy, gum or a pack of gum, you go to the coffee shop. Every time you put gas, eat, buy an apple, or buy something from the vending machine. You write that down, and then you build your budget off of that. Then when you have your budget, you see what your monthly expenses are, things that you absolutely have to pay and cover. And then you look at all that other frivolous spending, is what they're going to call it, and then you can start making cuts. One thing I like about Dave Ramsey is he has what's called a snowball effect for taking care of debt. You sort of start with the smallest one, or the one with the highest interest, and you pay that one off first. You're still making minimum payments to all the other cards, but you do everything you can to pay that one off as fast as possible. So if it's $2,000, you do whatever you can to pay that off, to pay it off. And then let's say you're paying $20, $30 a month to pay that $2,000. Then you take that $30 and then you roll it into the next card you choose. So if that one has a $25 minimum payment, you pay that minimum plus the $30 from before, and then anything else you can throw to it. That's the snowball effect. You keep going on all your credit cards and all your debt. And eventually, you're going to be debt free. Plain and simple plan. Easy. But it takes commitment. It takes that reason why. It takes talking to your partner and planning. Like I said, we did an episode on planning your future. This is where your finances come in too. You got to plan your finances for the future. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do when you retire? When the kids leave the house, what trips do you want to take? What trips do you want to take with the kids? How do you plan it? Well, do we need to set up another account that we can only touch a couple times a year? You can put those restrictions in there. You can write it in with when you open up that account, and the bank has to follow it because it's their contract with you to have that account. Finances don't need to be a stress. I know they're a leading cause in divorce. They're a leading issue in marriages, long-term marriages, and blended families. If you are in a blended family, new one, yeah, you might have a lot of debt to take care of. Don't hide it from your partner, because eventually it's going to come out. Be open and honest. Ask each other for help. If you're a spender and you got a lot of credit card debt and your partner is a saver, ask them for help and how. What can they do to change? You can do to help them. What they can do to help you change. What small changes can you make? What questions can you ask when you're using your credit cards so you use it less? Because we all heard the stories. Don't charge more than you make. Don't do things what you can't pay for. Pay cash. Well, some of us, we hear it, but we're taught to do the opposite through the actions that were shown when we're growing up. Or some of the people we watch. Okay, you say this, but you do this. How does that work? What aren't you telling me? Talk about it. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. Don't hide those finances from your new partner in your second marriage, in a blended family. Talk about it. Talk openly with it in front of your kids. Not for the fear of money. Because I remember my time growing up as a kid. Oh, we can't do it because we have money. Oh, we don't have it because of this. Okay, well, money becomes a limiting problem. And becomes a curse. And now you're living under the control of money. That's one thing I had to work in the last 2 years. It's like, nope, don't have it, can't do it. No, money is a tool. It doesn't define who you are. It doesn't make your identity. Your identity is who you are as a person, how you treat others, how you treat yourself. That's your identity, your core values, your core beliefs. Money is just a tool, and it's used as a tool to buy things. That's it. Or prepare to purchase things in the future. That's it. And it took me a while because of my religious bringing up, the way money was treated in the house. No, I don't blame my parents for it. They did the best they could. They talked about money in front of us. They talked to us about budget. They talked to us about things being tight or lean. But they also described it to us too. About why. About how unexpected expenses or things come up. Or cutbacks at times. So they talked about that too. They involved us kids. So no, I do have a respect for money. But I also grew up also thinking, I don't want that. So I also became a sort of a spender out of retaliation for that. But it still comes up now. And I'm grateful for that teaching. That education I had from my parents. And that mentality that I have, I've had to shift and adjust it to where I'm not scared of money. I'm not controlled by money. But I want to do things to make money so I can do what I want. And so I can also use it to help others as a resource, as a tool to help others. But no, it doesn't define who I am. It doesn't make who I am. And same with Beth. She wants to help other people. One thing we learned from Scott, I want to say McLennan from Australia. He works with Tony Robbins. He said, walk around money. Wham. Walk around money. So if you're walking around and you see somebody on the side of the street, or you see a family or somebody who's just a little down on the luck and you want to help them up, you have wham money. Walk around money so you can help them out. Here's $20 for food. Let's go get you a meal. Or let's go, oh, you want that? Okay, here you go. Nope, nothing in return. You don't ask for anything in return. You don't expect anything. That's one thing Beth and I are striving to do. So anytime we go anywhere, we can help somebody if we feel moved to and want to. And we have. We've paid for officers' meals. We've paid for families' meals. We have no clue who they are. In a different city, different state. Even if our own town, we do it. We don't say anything. We don't take any gratitude. We don't take anything in return. We just use that wham money. Here you go. And then we walk out. We're done. That's all we do. We just take care of it, and we don't look for thanks. We don't look for gratitude. We don't expect any. We don't want nothing in return. We want the pure pleasure of helping somebody. Sometimes, yeah, we do get to see the smile on the face or the tears in their eyes because we're able to help them. But we budget for that. That's using money as a tool. Showing our kids what money really is used for. Plan for your future. Talk about your expenses. Don't hide anything. And work out a budget together. And when you come together, you're going to have a honeymoon mindset that's going to last for many years. Especially if you're early in, it's very key to do it early on and talk about those finances. If you're in a long-term relationship and this is recurring, it still can work. Talk about it. Make it a priority. Same thing with a blended family. Talk about it. Don't let money scare the relationship away, but use it as a key to help build each other, to learn about each other, to grow together. And when you grow together, you'll have a honeymoon mindset. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time on Honeymoon Mindset.